Hi guys! So, a lot of the reason I make videos is to reach out to other fans and to kind of find clarity in what I'm talking about. I feel like talking them out will help me better understand them. This is one such case because my mind's sort of a little all over the place today and soon to be tomorrow, because it is the 1 year anniversary of the passing of SHINee's Jonghyun. Now, just a warning before we continue, there's obviously going to be talks of depression, death, and suicide, but not to any detail. This video is mostly just to talk about Jonghyun, his effect on anything in this past year, and what's changed and what hasn't, just where we stand now on December 18th, 2018. So, some things I've been wanting to talk about from the couple of weeks following his death back last year / early this year. I was heartbroken. I still kind of am. You never want to have it be confirmed that somebody you look up to in a medium that touches your soul so much like music has passed away from something so tragic. Reflecting on it now, Jonghyun was always a really thoughtful and selfless person. And something that's always kind of haunted me is the preparation leading up to his death. You know, the getting an apartment far away, and the initial blame there was on police not being able to find Jonghyun until 2 hours after his sister had reported Jonghyun's goodbye text, which, like, maybe he didn't want to be found. I also think about, he made sure he did it after his concert, and he fulfilled the wishes of the Shawwals and Jonghyun fans who wanted to see him. He waited until after Onu's birthday. He waited until there was no schedules before EXO was doing their annual December release. It was so eerily thought out. And I have to, just because of his personality, it makes me think that he just picked a time where he didn't want to burden anybody, which is a really sad thought, but one I've been holding inside for a year, and I'm sorry if that's triggering in and of itself, but it's just been stuck in my head for a year. I also remember, as a slight off topic of Jonghyun mainly, any non-Korean publication, mostly Western, mostly American publications, that saw K-pop as this hugely manufactured, taking kids out of middle school, training them for 3 years, and they'll maybe debut, and going on these rigorous tours and schedules and extreme diets, and oh, it's so strange and weird, let's gawk at it. And instead of highlighting what caused Jonghyun to pass away, which was his depression and mental illness, they made him the poster child of the corrupt K-pop system and that K-pop killed him. Somebody's dead. Would it make a difference if it was somebody from America? Is it just because they're from this strange K-pop land that you didn't want to fact check? And it took away and kind of belittled Jonghyun in a way. Yes, the K-pop life and him feeling like he was never good enough contributed to what happened, but K-pop didn't kill him. Depression killed him. Mental illness killed him. He succumbed to his inner demons. He didn't succumb to the rigorous training of a K-pop idol. And again, this has been in my head for a year, had to get it out because it's just been something that I think about from time to time, and I just kind of roll my eyes and I'm like, journalism can do so much better than that. Even if it's gossip rags, be respectful. It's not hard to be respectful. Looking at where we started the year at in this January, SM made the decision to release Jonghyun's final album, which he neglected to announce at his tour. I'm sure to not make a promise he couldn't keep to his fans. They released his album Poet Artist posthumously, and all of the proceeds from buying that album went to his family, who then created a charity on behalf of Jonghyun called the SHINee Foundation, where the aim of it is to help young artists who are struggling, not unlike Jonghyun, and to aid and support them. How much more of a beautiful thing could you have asked for? That Jonghyun, in his heartbreaking death, that something good like that can come out of this. I don't think he would have wanted anything less than something good to come from his loss. I want to also apologize to SHINee and Shawol's for saying in a video I made like 5 days after Jonghyun passed away, or I might have even said this the morning I found out Jonghyun died, that I couldn't see SHINee continuing. And like Jonghyun's mom and sister, they turned Jonghyun's passing into something really magical, and they kept SHINee going for Jonghyun. They didn't end SHINee because of Jonghyun, but they kept it going for him. And they made some beautiful albums, and they put little like sprinkles of Jonghyun without him being there in their songs and music videos. There's like an empty chair, there's a shadow, like there's so much symbolism that is also a tearjerker, so be careful if you read that stuff up on the internet. But they have had an amazing year. He released Face, Onu released his album Voice, and they've kept this sort of sound going, ace, bass, face, voice. Their brotherhood is still alive and well, and it's so beautiful. But yeah, I was wrong. SHINee kept going without Jonghyun. Admittedly, every single member was a huge component and is a huge component in SHINee. Without one, it still seems a little weird to me. Even when Jonghyun was alive and he got in his car accident and then the other 4 members released Why So Serious, I always found that to be such a weird release because he wasn't in it. He's such, like all of them, an integral part to SHINee. And while I do admire and really like SHINee's new works this year, it'd be a lie to say that some parts just don't feel complete without him. His mom and his sister, like family of the year, they've had the toughest year, especially his mother. She's turned her grief into something so beautiful that has helped so many people, and it's nothing short of amazing. And it was announced that they wanted to do an art exhibit in an SM building in Gangnam, showing off his writings, his art, his instruments, and they even let people share their stories and their thoughts of Jonghyun. And a lot of his friends, EXO Suho, Red Velvet's Yeri, and of course Girls' Generation's Taeyeon, and of course SHINee members Taemin, Minho, and Hee. And Onu couldn't be there because he is just enlisted in the military, but Onu's parents, and then all of their parents, showed up for this event earlier today to celebrate Jonghyun and what he accomplished and what he left behind. I personally have yet to listen to Poet Artist because there's something really uncanny about this being his very final work, and there's also something so finite about it. Like, I'll have nothing new to listen to from Jonghyun if I listen to Poet Artist. Like, there's nothing else. A couple weeks after he passed, I like locked myself in my room, I closed the blinds, I looked up all the lyrics and played every single song that Jonghyun had a part in, whether it was composing, because he did something for IU, who also did a beautiful tribute of that song called Gloomy Clock at her concert, dedicating it to a friend she missed dearly. And he also wrote for Lim Kim, among a couple others. And I listened to everything and I read the lyrics, and it hit me hard because, you know, artists express themselves through their art, and sometimes we mistake that for just being really inspired rather than sometimes a cry for help. And you feel guilty about it. You're like, oh, why didn't I see the signs? Or maybe I could have done something. And it's a lot harder if you're a fan because you kind of also look back and you're like, I'm only one fan. What could I have done? No one failed him, even with his final note saying that he wasn't heard in the way he needed to be heard by past doctors. I don't think any one person is responsible for what happened. It's human nature to want to find blame and fault in something, to blame somebody and to have something or somebody to take the shots and get the fingers pointed at and cursed at because you just want to release everything you've been building up inside. But it's really not one person's fault. The thing about depression is it can seem as though like it's portrayed as you're down all the time, but that's not true. You can have genuine, happy, uplifting moments that you feel like, that make you feel good. The only thing is that those aren't enough sometimes to negate dark feelings you have inside. But it doesn't mean you're incapable of happiness. That's why there's so many videos you see of like somebody laughing and smiling, and they have like a caption of this is what depression looks like, because it just looks like everybody else. I'm gonna listen to Poet Artist hopefully in a couple weeks. I just haven't felt ready. It took me a while to even get to the point of listening to old Chinese songs and to listen to Jonghyun's songs, because something about the fact that while it's a beautiful thing that he left us his music, but that's all that's left is scary. It's just scary. But I want to make myself listen to Poet Artist because I want to be able to listen to what he left behind in completion. But if you are not ready for certain things, like watching music videos of Jonghyun or all this stuff, the tributes going on the internet, get off the internet, take a break. Self-care is the term of the year. Take care of yourself. Don't let anybody bring you down for grieving in a certain way or for grieving for a K-pop artist who doesn't know you exist. It doesn't matter. If that person had an effect on your life, profound, or even just you liked a song of theirs and you feel sad about it, don't ever let somebody make you feel like your feelings are invalid. I feel like that's the real good takeaway, because Jonghyun had felt like his feelings were invalid sometimes. Nobody should ever have to go through... No one should ever have to go through what he went through. To make a long video short, I do believe that as small as a crack through the door as we've gotten, I do think that there has been a change in how Korea sees mental health. I think they're aware that Jonghyun didn't die due to K-pop, but he died due to mental illness. And I see more people being open about anxiety disorders or, things of that nature. Or even just the general mental effects that being a K-pop artist can have on you. It's a really great first step for a country that has mental health still so stigmatized. It's not to make him the poster child of anything. If anything, I would want him to be the poster child of that beautiful things can happen in the wake of tragedy. He was a beautiful soul, and his legacy is going to live on for as long as there's stars in the sky, which I'm sure is where he is. And his music is still so beloved. He himself, like through YouTube clips or music videos, he shines. There's a reason his name is so synonymous with the word SHINee. I'll say it now and I'll say it again, but Jonghyun, you are loved, you are missed, and I wish you knew how well you did. You did so well. So that is it. If you guys are feeling a certain way, like I said, links are in the description below. Do not feel like you are going through anything alone. There is somebody who is out there who will listen to you if you feel isolated or alone. Share your thoughts below in the comments, or even just share good memories you have of Jonghyun. Let's take this as a time to unite like we did last year and like we've done for so many other K-pop related tragedies in the past. Come together and heal together. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Happy holidays. If your holiday's already passed, I hope you had a great holiday, and Happy New Year. Here's to 2019 being something amazing. Bye guys.